Hi, everybody. We're excited to have you here today. We will be getting started in just a couple minutes. We're just going to let everyone log on and get settled. We're excited to have you. So thank you so much for joining us today. In whatever time zone you're in, I see a lot of different time zones on here. So we're spanning across the US and actually the world today, which is really exciting. And you'll notice we all have our red lips on. We're all ready for the conversation of Red Lips, the interactive webinar, which is really going to be insightful in terms of the entire process all the way through, from the formulation side all the way through to the trends and consumer facing products. So I'm going to say, let's get started. It looks like we have a good amount of group of people here, so let's get started today. So thank you once again for joining us. We are very appreciative of you taking the time to be here with us, and we promise to make this as insightful and as informative as possible for you. I find all this information really exciting, so I'm excited to be sharing this with you and be part of this esteemed panel that we have. So I'll kick it off with Haley, who's in a beautiful red floral dress. Maybe, I don't know. No one knows if you're wearing just a top or a dress anymore these days, or even pants for that matter.
It's a dress that has pockets.
Beautiful. Of course, Haley's beautiful. So Haley is the CEO of Dandy Day, which is this incredible community that everyone needs to know about and to be part of. And Haley is a formulator and ingredient expert that she's the go-to person when you have any questions about ingredients and formulations. She knows all about it. She knows about what's up and coming, which is really interesting and exciting. And she has a very incredible way of taking all this really scientific, innovative information and giving it out to everyone in a very digestible format and manner. And so Haley's at the helm of so many different innovations in the industry. And so Haley, thank you for having this panel come together.
Really excited, and thank you for hosting and kicking it off. It's great.
Next, we're going to go over to Susanna Groff, and we'll say it up front because you might be wondering where she's located, that it's actually dark outside. She's in the opposite zone where she's getting a sunset right now. So Susanna is in Switzerland, which is a really amazing, beautiful place, and we're lucky that she's coming to us in the evening hours. And Susanna is at Chemberry, and Chemberry is the site that I would refer anybody who's in product development, any brands to, because it is really a hub of all ingredients. And so it is the online personal database that you can catalog all the ingredients if you're looking for anything from anti-aging to a moisturizer to certain ingredients that you can filter through. So it's an amazing forum that's available to you. And Susanna is responsible for all the marketing and the product facing elements of Chemberry. So she has a very vast job that she is trying to maintain.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me here. I'm looking forward to this event.
Thank you. And then Angela. Angela is from Salt and Earth Labs. She is the founder and formulator at Salt and Earth Labs, and they really speak to the clean and conscious beauty, amazing formulations that you create. And we're really happy to have Angela join us today because she has such insightful information about the product development side and about products and putting them all together, taking all these great ingredients and making a product that has full benefits and is an amazing performance-based product without any of the additives. So very clean formulas. So thank you, Angela, for being here today.
Hi, everybody. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
So we're going to kick it off right away. We're going to turn the tables on you, and Susanna's going to take us through a pub quiz. So I'm going to hand it over.
Okay, so please let me allow to share my screen. And what I would need from you, first of all, is your mobile phone. So please all get your smartphones to you. And we want to kick this interactive round. Wait a second. Can you see my screen?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. So we're kicking off this webinar or interactive webinar with an interactive session that we call a pub quiz. For this, I would like you to get your smartphones and type in your web browsers www.kahoot.it, and then you should be able to type in a game pin. So type in then the game pin 9240231. So I see that there are already 2 people logged in. I see Benguzusis and Sarah D. I see Ro coming in. If anybody has a question how it works, I see Heather. Please write in the chat and we will get back to you. So again, open your mobile phone, your browser, and type in kahoot.it. So that's the game that where we play it. And then the game pin 9240231. Okay, so in matter of time, we will start playing now. You will still see the domain and you will still see the code afterwards, so that will be good. How it will work is that we will have a few questions all around lipstick. I will read the questions out and you will see different elements or different colors on your smartphone. Please press the color which you think is the right answer. And also it is not only being correct, it's also being fast. So hurry up, yeah, and hopefully you can win it. Yeah, so I would propose we just kickstart it and go with the first question. So as said, today's pop quiz will be all about lipstick, and we start in 3, 2, 1, 0. The first question is about how much does the average woman in the US spend in her lifetime on makeup? Press yellow if you think it's $20,000 US. Press blue if you think it's $50,000 US. Press yellow if you think it's $15,000 US. Press green if you think it's $5,000 US. How much does the average woman spend in her lifetime on makeup? Okay, so the last ones, please just guess if you don't know it. Yeah, some of you were right, but like most of you expect a bit more. No, it is actually only 15,000. So 15,000 is really about the makeup part, but if we look at the overall skincare product spendings in the whole lifetime, this is way more. So this is really about like decorative makeup, these 15,000 US. So let's see who was correct and also the fastest. Yeah, I think Sarah, that goes to you. So let's go to the next question. How much does the average woman in the US spend in her lifetime on lipstick? So we just learned it's 50,000 in average, and now how much is it on lipstick? Press red if you think it's 2,340 US. Press blue if you think it's 1,900 US. Press yellow if you think it's 1,780. Press green if you think it's 960. Yeah. One of you was only correct. It's 1,780. I think that would be now an interesting calculation to see how many lipstick you can actually buy with this. But we see now that only lipstick is a minimal part of the overall makeup spending. I mean, other things are makeup itself, foundations, blush, mascara, brow kits, etc. So it's one of the parts there. Okay, who's good? Rue, you were correct on this one. So we got 3 people here first off. And the third question is, how much does the average woman? Oh, the question is wrong. The question is like, sorry, and please excuse. The question was like, who was the inventor of the lipstick? Press red if you think it's Thomas Lyle Williams. Press blue if you think it's Coco Chanel. Press yellow if you think it's Hazel Bishop, or press green if you think it's Eugene Schuller. Please excuse, the question is wrong. Yes, only one person was correct. It's actually Hazel Bishop, who was the first one who made a kiss-proof lipstick, so who developed the formula for a kiss-proof lipstick. We will also get into this later again, so there will be a second chance. So Heather, you might heard the name before, probably, or maybe not, or you were just guessing right. So the fourth question is, when was the first time that painting the lips was a symbol of emancipation? Was it 1912 in New York City? Was it 1972 in Paris? Was it 1969 in San Francisco? Or was it 1920 in Barcelona? So press your answers. Yeah, the answer is 1912 in New York City. And actually, also, if we look back in the history, especially also the history of emancipation of women, was that also like wearing red lipstick was always also a symbol of emancipation. So it was used wearing to wear like during demonstrations, but also to really make a sign, okay, we're putting color onto it and we want to be seen. So lips, coloring the lips is not only a beauty effect, it's also a political symbol in certain times. So Heather, you're on the rise. I'm curious who Heather is actually. So the next question was like, who was wearing lipstick in ancient Egypt? Was it press red if you think it was only men? Press blue if you think it didn't exist at the time. Press yellow if you think it was woman only. Press green if you think it's women and men. Again, be fast and not only correct. 2, 1, time's over. Yeah, most of you were correct. Actually, in the ancient Egypt, women and men were both wearing lipstick. You should imagine that at this time it was not as the red lipstick that we're wearing today, but for example, wearing also black lipstick was a typical symbol also of the old Egypt. And it was also a symbol of status. So especially like wealthy Egyptians were able to wear lipstick and also were able to wear other decorative cosmetics. We are more than halfway through, and now it gets quite exciting because Haley is also on the rise. Heather is still leading, so let's go to the last 3 questions. And yeah, what did Winston Churchill think about the lipstick during World War II? Press red if you think it's a luxury good which needs to be rationated. Press blue if you think it's a sin. Press press yellow if you think it was also used for soldiers. Press green if you think it's a moral booster. Time's over. Yeah, it was a moral booster. So thinking about World War II, I mean, everything was rationated. There was a lot going on. But Winston Churchill actually once said also in his speeches that lipstick should not be rationated because it really also boosts something or is a moral booster. And therefore, he was one who said, okay, other cosmetics products shall be rationated, but lipstick, that's fine. I think here again, we see lipstick is also seen as a political thing in certain times. Haley, you're on the rise. Now we're having 2 more questions. By whom was the first commercial lipstick introduced? Press red if you think it's by Goldman in 1828. Press blue if you think it was Coco Chanel in 1940. Press yellow if you think it was L'Oreal in 1932. And press green if you think it was by Maybelline in 1877. Yeah, so 4 of you were right. It was introduced by Goldman and already in the 1828. So I would say 7 more years and we can celebrate 200 years of lipstick. So that's quite an age for the lipstick. Okay, Heather is on the rise again. We have 1 more question and we see here there's a very close race. So Heather, Rue and Haley, I'm curious who will make the win today. Oh, it's 2 more questions. Lipstick sales have been proven to go up during times of economic recessions and on rainy days. Is this true or false? Press blue if you think that's true. Press red if you think that's false. Yeah, most of you are right. Yes, during economic recessions and on rainy days, lipstick is there as a small luxury good, and also it's something that brings up the mood on these dark gray and rainy days. Okay, but now we're coming to the last question. Still, we have a very close race here at the top. So the last question is coming ahead, and please be aware, be fast. What is understood under the lipstick effect? Press red if you think it's a theory that aims that women are buying a new lipstick when starting a new job. Press blue if you think it's a theory that aims that women look taller when wearing lipstick. Press yellow if you think it's a theory that aims that women wearing lipstick are more likely to get invited. And press green. Oh, you were way faster. It's a series that in times of crisis and that luxury items are continuing to grow. Yeah, so that was the correct one. And now let's see who was correct in the overall and come to the podium. So the third place goes to Haley. So congratulations, Haley. The second place goes to Rue. And number one is Heather. So I would say big round of applause to Heather for being the winner at our lipstick pop quiz. And yeah, I would like to now give back the screen sharing to Sarah. Sarah, can you please share your screen again so we can continue with our session today? And as said, this was just for us like an interactive session with some like small highlights about, okay, what is the history of lipsticks, and to bring this to you in an interactive way.
Oh, yes. And I think, Haley, I need you to pull up the slideshow for me.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm gonna find it. It disappeared on me somewhere. So
No worries.
find it.
We're gonna pull. That was really fun, Susanna. I like the competitive side to it, and the information was incredible because some of that I was not clear on either. So thank you for sharing all that.
Yeah, so thank you. And I also think that, I mean, you saw like reading out the questions really fast is something a bit difficult, but yeah, I think it's an interesting way to also exchange knowledge and also to engage within your team. So like we made quite good experiences with like these quizzes. It was also something that we always did with Canberra and had there like a little fan base about this. Okay, I can now see the screen, and here again we have like a quick summary. I don't want to go actually into deep dive in here because yeah, we have a lot more interesting things to talk about, but we will also distribute the slides afterwards, and then you will also find the information about the quiz question that we just asked. So like, who was wearing it in ancient lipstick, who was the first the brand who did the commercialization of lipstick, and also what is the lipstick effect, and also what are the average spending. So you will find everything on the slides. And yeah, I would say now let's really deep dive into the formulation aspects and the technical aspects of the lipstick.
And just so you all know, you will receive a PDF of this presentation. So all the information that was just shared with you and all the content that you saw on that previous slide, you'll get. So don't worry about having to, quickly try to jot everything down. We'll get you this presentation so you can have all the content. So I'm going to move it more towards what we're seeing for the trends and how we see lipstick and red lip color in particular going through the trends and what we have seen from history all the way through to what we expect to be upcoming. So now, while makeup trends have always changed, right? You're seeing them change from seasons, oftentimes month to month when it comes to lip color. But what's been obvious is that there is a trend that permeates throughout each decade, and that is really that popular lipstick shades often have a direct link, which is really interesting, I think, to cultural climate. So if it's historical events, if it's a rebellion, any times like this is really when women felt free and liberated or oppressively structured, where they made their statement through their lip color, which I really think is fascinating. And so if you look back on history, you can see that correlation happen. And if there's one makeup trend that is completely universal, it is the red lip, right? It's the classic, it's the stalwart lip color that defines time, trends, and there truly is a shade out there for everyone, right? Depending on if you want more the blue reds or the pink reds, there's an opportunity for every skin tone and hair color that exists out there. And the one thing I find really interesting about lip color is that it has this like uncanny ability to really elevate any look. So if you're going to an interview, if there's something new you're trying to do via Zoom, if it is meeting with a significant other family member, or if a first date, or your wedding, sometimes you recall the lip color you wore on your wedding day, and it brings you back those memories. That a lip color can do that for you. And red is really the color that can dress up any occasion, which is what I find fascinating about the red lip. And then moving next into the next slide, which this is what we're seeing with trends. Now, Of course, the pandemic has affected the lipstick category in a lot of different ways. And so, as you saw in that quiz, there is something so simple about purchasing a lip color. It gives you that instant boost of confidence, which is what we all need. And it's at a minimal price point. And so, to get that instant lift, if we're talking about what Winston Churchill even recognized, is that you just feel a little bit better. You feel a little bit more pulled together when you do put on some color, especially something that's vibrant that can make your eyes pop or just make your face come alive. But what we're seeing with the pandemic is, like everything else, it has affected the lipstick category. And you're seeing a difference. In fact, right before the pandemic hit, I would say that it was really about the high gloss. It was about the texture and seeing that sheen. And the pandemic did kind of, muzzle that a little bit in terms of seeing that texture come through. But now what we're finding is people are adapting their lip color to wanting long wear. They want ease of application, and they want the hydration to really counteract the dryness you can get from wearing any type of face covering. And so we are really starting to talk about mask-friendly formulations that are going to get you through this season of having to wear a coverage on your face, and then also what looks best. And so you have to take that into effect as we're continuing to adapt what we're opting for when it comes to formulations. Now, also a big trend that I wouldn't even call a trend, it's really more of a movement, and I believe it's here to stay, is being very conscious about what you're putting on your body topically. And so the first movement usually starts in the food category and nutrition, and people being very concerned about what they're intaking and putting into their body. The next stage of that usually is beauty. And then the last is usually, the trifecta is usually goes into household cleaners. But what we're seeing in beauty right now are people are saying, okay, what's this that's going in my lipstick? What am I putting on my lips that I might be digesting? And they're very cautious and very concerned about every one of those ingredients. And they're trying to understand how to read the labels and decipher what is a clean formula and what do I want to use and maybe what I don't want to use on my lips. And so people are searching out for natural, even vegan formulations possibly, or just clean formulations. They're also looking at texture. So I think texture is also having a big movement overall in terms of formulations. And I would be interested to hear too what everyone has to say about texture being a really strong trend right now, especially Angela and Haley. So when it comes to, the texture, the gloss, the sheen, what we're seeing, we're going to talk about all these different variations of what's available out there. Everything from like the liquid lips to lip oils, which I think are really fascinating and great for your lips while they give you that sure color. And then also highly pigmented sticks as well, which is what I'm wearing right now, is a pigmented stick. And so Angela, I'm going to let you take it from here and move into the next phase of this presentation.
Hello. So as Sarah was mentioning, many different sort of formats and types of formula and texture that you can achieve with lips in order to achieve that impactful red lip look. So here I'm just going to touch on a little bit about the type of ingredients that will go into formulating the different types of textures that you might have. So starting with the classic matte lipstick, in a lipstick bullet, we're going to start with having a combination of different waxes. High and low melt point waxes is basically what's going to help to give you a good structure to your bullet at the same time as giving you a quick melting sensoriality so that you get smoothing texture on the lips ultimately. And then that combination with the right types of emollients is what's going to give you that adjustment, not only on how matte your finish is, but also the amount of slip and ease with which your lipstick is going to glide. And then particularly in matte lipsticks, it becomes particularly important to add some kind of texture in powders usually that are going to help to give you that finalizing, mattifying finish. And a lot of the time they're going to help to make your lips sort of fill in fine lines and give you that really smooth finish. And then in a matte lipstick, you're probably going to have roughly about 8 to 12% of pigments in that formula. And then you'll move towards a glossy. So in between glossy and matte, for sure, there's going to be more of a satin formulations, moisturizing formulas. Ultimately, what you're going to be adjusting there is not only your levels and percentages of the waxes that you're using and the types of emollients that you're using, and then of course the texturing powders will become a lot less significant. If you're focusing very much on having a really glossy lipstick, which often is the direction you go in when you're trying to get something more moisturizing as well, Similarly, having that high and low melt point combination, you're going to probably shift a little bit more to trying to have something a little bit lower melt point so that you get a softer release of product. Sometimes that can affect the structure, which is where you may see products going into what we call the supported case, which is more like a stilo as opposed to the fully structured bullet. Again, here having the smoothing and moisturizing emollients, and then if you're really trying to get a glossy effect, you're going to look for particular emollients or esters or glossing agents that have a high refractive index are going to give you that really glossy finish at the end as well in combination. Also, some of the waxes that you choose may also help to enhance that shine on the lips. And here you're probably going to have about 3 to 7% of pigment. Usually with these formulas, you reduce the pigment significantly because they have less hold on the lips, and ultimately you don't want something that's going to be smudging all over the place or bleeding into the fine lines as well. And then the liquid lipsticks, which of course been a very popular favorite for people, especially pre-pandemic and maybe during pandemic, because they're the ones that are most long wearing. So if you do get to remove your mask, your lipstick will stay in place. Here it's very important to have that kind of volatile ingredients that basically that it's like an emollient thing that will flash off instantly and just leave you with the transfer resistant finish at the end. And with that combination of film formers so that the color and everything else is really locked into the lips. And then our Rheology Modifier is basically what's going to give you that consistency. So what kind of viscosity, what kind of thickness do you want your formula to have is basically how you're going to adjust that final sensoriality of your liquid lipstick. And here, fortunately, with liquid lipsticks as well, you can put a really high percentage of pigments in there. That's why you can manage to get such an impactful look from the liquid lipsticks that we use. So then just to go into a little bit more depth, just to name a few ingredients that you might use, and Hayley's going to take you a little bit more deeper into some key ingredients. But here I'm just going to touch lightly on different types of formulas different types of ingredients, sorry, that you might use in different formulas. So I've separated them into synthetic versus natural. I intentionally went for natural as opposed to clean because there are a lot of synthetic but clean ingredients that are used in both clean brands and non-clean brands. So starting with the liquid lipstick formulas, which is the most, I would say, most challenging area when it comes to trying to formulate in anything clean and natural, because traditionally in a conventional formula or synthetic based formula, you would use ingredients like isododecane, trimethyl siloxysilicate, and cyclopentasiloxane or other silicones. If you were trying to be cleaner or go into a natural phase, you do have ingredients, things like coconut alkanes and hydrogenated glycerol albutate, which is a natural-based film former from pine resin. Then into our matte lipsticks, traditionally you would be able to use waxes like polyethylene, which is a type of plastic. You would use azocarite, which comes from petroleum, or nylon 12. These ingredients are not really very sustainable. So if you were moving into a more of a natural or clean formula, you'd be looking more at your carnauba waxes, your candelillas, and your polylactic acid could be a good alternative for giving you that smoothing and mattifying finish. And it's, when I say natural here, I do mean naturally derived, of course, not necessarily straight from the earth. So polylactic acid, for example, starts from corn, for example, as one of the resources that they use to be able to make that ingredient. So it would be naturally derived and usually cleaner in terms of the process. And then into our glossy lipsticks, traditionally you would have used something like mineral oils or mineral oil based ingredients, polyisobutene, which is really high shine. Azocarite again might appear here. But if you were trying to move a little bit more natural, you have ingredients like phytosterols, which have been developed to mimic that really high shine finish that you would get from a glossing agent. Different types of plant-derived esters as well that are really formulated to give you that high shine. And of course, moving more towards your natural butters as opposed to your petroleum-derived waxes. And so I will hand it over to Hayley, and she will take you into a little bit more detail about some really key cool ingredients for formulating. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Angela. This has been such a wonderful and really fun talk about lipsticks and diving into the formulation. So I'm going to talk more specifically about mask-ready transfer-resistant lipsticks and what it takes to be able to formulate one of those types of lipsticks. So The lipstick I'm wearing right now is compliments of, it's a prototype that I have, compliments of cow wax. And my home is filled with prototypes. So people ask me what my favorite brands are, and I don't know, or what brands I'm wearing, and usually it's an ingredient supplier prototype. So just full disclosure there. And also these transfer resistant lipstick bullet points we're going to be going over is also compliments of cow wax. They have a presentation called All About Natural Lipsticks, and so I pulled this directly from their presentation. So when we're, as Angela has already gone over, looking at volatile esters, volatile ingredients, it's a very key point in having that transfer resistance. And volatile, if you're not a chemist, it means that the material flashes off of the skin, that it evaporates, and so it's just a carrier agent. And so after you put the lipstick on, or the lip gloss, lipstick, lip oil, and then the carrier oils then flash off the skin, so they evaporate, and that can also be what tends to cause the lips feeling dry. So as that ingredient comes off the skin, it can take away some of the moisture as well. So just something to think about if this is something you're experiencing with a transfer resistant lipstick. This is why, because of the volatile ingredients. And something that's used to counteract that effect of especially synthetic volatile ingredients is these fast spreading emollients. So low viscosity, so it can absorb into the lips and provide that moisturization and have just that very, very thin pigment film. And so depending on if it's a regular lipstick, a lip gloss, or a liquid lip, as Angela mentioned, there'll be different range of pigment percentages in those formulations. And so in the waxes, when you're looking at using particular waxes, there's different polarities. So this contributes to it being hydrophobic or hydrophilic. And so to create adhesion, to create that stain on the lips, you would really want to look at hydrophobic waxes for that. And so Cal Wax is a company where, and any wax supplier, they can give you a list of hydrophobic waxes, or how they rate them, to the most hydrophobic to the least hydrophobic. So reach out to one of your suppliers to get more technical information, such as that. And then we also want to stay away from film formers that create a really stiff layer that can crack over time, because that can be really uncomfortable. And so we find some of these, some different polymers are ones that will create this cracking and settling into the lip creases. So that's something to look at and stay away from. And what is ideal in this type of formulation would to be have a film former that doesn't get dry or hard, and it has some comfort on the skin. So it's really laying on the skin, on the lips. And so we do have some solutions, some ingredient solutions when we're looking at this of, what are some volatile ingredients that would be useful, some waxes, and some soft film formers. So these are some of my picks that I recommended to different contract manufacturers, to brands over the years. Some of my favorites when you're looking at transfer resistant, this is an ester that's a natural replacement for cyclopenicyloxane, the Vegelite 1214 LC. This is a product that has been out on the market since about 2009. So it has been on the market a long time, not as long as cyclopenicyloxane. So it might be something that you've heard of. The inky name on it is cocoa caprate coconut alkanes. And so this is a sustainable product. It's naturally derived. It's plant-based from coconuts, and it's also renewable, and it's Cosmos certified. So if you're looking for a particular certification that talks to the sustainability aspect and how it's taken from the earth and goes back to the earth, Cosmos certified is a great seal to look for. And next for gloss, so if you're wanting to have some of that nice shine to your formulation, I would recommend this Rheology Modifier, which is a natural replacement for petroleum-based polybutene. So polybutene is going to be a crude oil-derived product, and so this particular ingredient, the Calwax 5723, with the inky name of glycerol rosinate and octyldodecanol, this is going to be a naturally derived replacement. So it does come from pine resin, and there was another ingredient that Angela had mentioned, that's a pine resin extract. So this is something that you'll see in the market on ingredient decks, these different types of rosinates that create that gloss. And so this particular company, Calwax, has done many studies to show that it has the same shine as the polybutene, and it also helps with some transfer resistance as well. So that last point that I mentioned, if you're looking for a film that doesn't get hard and crack on the skin, this one, the Calwax 5723, would fit both of those needs for gloss and film forming to help settle the pigments, and so they stay on the lips. And lastly, we're really seeing an increase in vegan waxes. So if you're looking to move away from beeswax because of some like animal cruelty-free, if you're looking to be vegan, you will have to move away from beeswax in your formulations. And so this is a consistency and structuring agent that I've used, and has really wonderful studies to show that it has the same structure and function in lipstick formulations as you would find in beeswax, with beeswax formulations. So beeswax is a very interesting material. It's very pliable. It has good adhesion to the skin. So creating a wax that can replace that, that's been the quest on the marketplace in the ingredient world for the past about 5 years. So all three of these ingredients are fairly new to the industry when you're looking at it from as opposed to 1823 when lipsticks first came to the market, and now. So we're talking about 2009. So a little over a decade that these ingredients have been available to the market. So you can find all of these ingredients on Kimberry. So when we send out this presentation, we will have links that go directly to learn more information about these natural lipstick ingredients. And then lastly, we wanted to highlight the Madame Gabriella lipstick. This is a beautiful natural lipstick that is using using a nice resin, the Sharia Robusta resin. So you'll have some gloss, you'll have some adhesion in it, and you can find this at Boutique NYC. And so they are one of Dandy Day's collaborative partners, and so we're happy to highlight this brand, a beautiful lipstick and company that's based out of Dallas, Texas. So if you have a chance and you're in the market for a new red lip, or just a natural lipstick in general, please go check them out and let us know what you think. So I'm going to hand it back over to all of us, or if everybody wants to share their camera, and then we can, Sarah Eggenberger will conclude the event for us.
Thank you, Haley, Angela, and Susanna. This is all so informative, and I really appreciate that you can get like the natural lip colors without sacrificing the color payoff or the performance. And so I really appreciate having all those alternatives listed, because I think that really makes a difference when you're trying to formulate to know, okay, if I can't use this, what is the alternative? What can I use? So that was really incredible information. And if you'd like to get a hold of anyone, from Haley to me, to Angela, to Susanna, please go ahead. You'll find all of our information right here from our Instagram, also to our email. So you can contact us. Again, we're going to send off this PDF to anyone who's on this webinar, so you can have access to all this information, and then also our contacts. If you do have any questions, feel free to start typing those into the chat, and we can answer any of those questions if they do come up. Again, also you can reach out to any of us too if you want to singly ask any questions directly. And make sure to follow along on Dandy Day. You can find Dandy Day Community on Instagram. You can find Haley through Dandy Day as well, and then the website as well, just dandyday.com. So check out all those formats. If you do want to stay connected to having these webinars more often, if there's any topics you'd like to see, definitely let us know about that as well, so we can make sure that we put those into the rotation as well. So thank you for joining. Thank you everyone for being here. I hope you all have a great afternoon. It doesn't appear to have any questions as of right now. So if anything else pops up, just let us know.
I actually have a question since we are in this round. And so I would be curious. So, I mean, I'm not a formulator. I don't have any technical background. But when I stand in front of the what you call it, beauty store, or like in front of the shelves, and look at all these lipsticks, I struggle like how to identify like what is also a right color, kind of what is the right like setup also for my lipstick. So Angela, Haley, how do you process, since you like spending a lot of your time also with lipsticks? What are your decision criteria or your lookout criteria when you're shopping for new lipsticks?
That's a good question. I think it's like I mentioned before, I have so many prototypes in my bathroom, but when I do go out and look for a lipstick, sometimes it is a specific shade. If I'm trying to match an outfit or I'm going to an event, and I would say long wear is definitely one of the things that I look for. And it is a struggle to find a great long wear lipstick that is natural, that's not going to dry out your lips. So, you know, I think for me, it just depends on what the occasion is. And if it's something that I know that I'm going to wear forever, then I'll spend a little bit more money on it. But if it's like, maybe I'm looking for like a midnight blue shade, I'm like, okay, well, that one might just be
Did she freeze for everyone?
Yeah, I think
Yes.
we did, Haley.
I can jump in and give my answer. Ultimately,
Yeah,
is
please do, Angela. Let's hear it.
color usually defines it first. I guess it's just what you feel suits you, what you're comfortable to put on. For me, that's usually a nude. But then on a special occasion, it might be a red, and on a vampy occasion, it might be a deep mauve, you know, something like that. So you have different ones, and randomly it might be a black, if it's that kind of day. But then other than that, if I'm looking deeper into ingredients, of course, trying to find things that are as clean as possible because it's going onto lips. And just trying to find ingredients that are as they don't have too much sort of drying ingredients, because I do have very dry lips as well. So it would be starting with looking at those kind of key ingredients, looking for moisturizing agents, and then finishes depends, of course, on the occasion as well. So you can go anything from matte to gloss, depending on what kind of day you might be having. For matte, like I said, if you want more impactful color, is going to be your best bet compared to a glossy finish.
And there are some new apps which I find really interesting, because you can't do the testing on site anymore at stores, that are allowing you to do the virtual try-ons. And so it allows you to, you know, say you put your, you know, your face into your camera or into your computer, and then it will visually put on whatever that color is that you're trying to try on. So Ulta has Glam Labs app that will help to kind of direct you, and you can try on all different colors, including lip. So that's one way I love for people to try on lip color, because it's a great way of just like exposing yourself to maybe shades you are a little bit more gun shy in purchasing, because it allows you just to try on all these different fun colors, and you can see how it just like plays a role and how it can actually fit well for your skin tone and your hair color. And then change your outfit too. I've also noticed that too, depending on what you wear, will reflect differently in your lip color. So if you put a lip color on that's not jiving with you, just switch out some of your clothes sometimes, and that will make it so that it does balance really well and coordinate with your clothes, and that helps to find the right lip color too. Or if you bought one, you don't love it, that's a nice way to kind of change it up and try to still get used to that lip color.
I was going to say, and vice versa, if you're wearing sweatpants and a t-shirt, but you throw on a red lip, you suddenly look dressed up.
No, I loved in the pub quiz, Susanna, just hearing about the history, and then thinking about us being in the pandemic right now. I was like, I think I wear lipstick just as much as I did like before the pandemic, just because it really is, it is my mood booster. I love putting on lipstick. It makes me feel happy, and it makes me feel complete. And so I don't know, like I grew up in Texas, and so my mom was always asking us before we left the house. She was like, "Where are your earrings?" Which I'm not wearing any, sorry, Mom. And where's your lipstick? And so that's been really ingrained in me that, hey, lipstick is part of your wardrobe. It's part of you going out and showing up in the world. And so so I really like wearing lipstick, even though it's under a mask most of the time. So
It's all for you. It's all for the person who's wearing it, right? That's all that matters, is how you feel.
Absolutely. I did want to mention this one product that I've been wearing. It's here. I'm not wearing it right now, but I did have it on earlier this morning. This is from Skin Cosmetics, and it's a lip oil. So it really doesn't have a lot of payoff, and it's not like a gloss where let's see if I can put a little bit on my hand. I mean, it has high gloss, but it's very, very sheer. So this is something that I use, you know, to kind of answer your question, Susanna. Something that I use where I was wanting some moisturization and just a little pop of color, but it really wasn't to. It was more of like a treatment, more so than a lipstick. So that's another brand that I like. And I also want to recognize Heather Fink. I know she was one of the winners of the pub quiz, but she also has a beautiful brand called the Sexiest Beauty. And so she's a guest with us today. I just wanted to recognize her. And she got a lot of the lipstick questions right. And well, and she sells them, which is wonderful, and has developed this beautiful brand. So thank you, Heather, for joining us today and contributing. So if there are any other questions?
There was none that came up through the questions just yet that I saw. But if anyone wants to type anything in, we'd love to hear from you. Any thoughts, any feedback? All right, Angela, what would you say is making a big comeback? Like, what are you really focusing on right now for your formulations that you're seeing there's been a high interest of these brands in creating?
Whilst we're on the topic of lips, lip care is definitely something that has been a lot of focus. So the liquid lipsticks have had a strong run. And I think they did start getting to a point where people acknowledged that their lips were being, dried out over time. So that's sort of pushed forward a lot of lip care, lip balms, and different formats of being able to moisturize and look after the lips as well.
And Susanna, what filter would you say at Kenberry is the most popular filter? Like, what do people use the most? What are they looking for? Did you find in any type of results when you do research on that?
It's definitely certified ingredients, I would say. We see that a lot. So like specifically, I mean, what you can do is on Canberra is there's an open search bar where you can type in whatever you're looking for. And then afterwards, we mostly see that the certification filter is used the most, because even if you say, okay, I want to have, I don't know, yeah, let's say it, I don't know, Karula honey, and then you say, okay, I'm looking for a certified version of it, and that's definitely what we see. What I think is also quite exciting, it's not the most used yet, but I think this will play a huge role in the future. It's our upcycled filter that we newly have. I'm not sure how relevant this is all is about for lip care, but this is an ingredient that we implemented also with the help of Dandy Day and the Upcycled Food Association, to really highlight and yeah, the upcycled ingredients that we offer. So I'm saying this, it goes really more in the direction of, okay, I want to know where my ingredients are coming from, and I want to have a history to them, and I think this is something that is definitely popular on our platform.
Is there upcycled options for lip colors right now?
No, we don't have that. It's only lip care, the only one that we have.
Haley, what can we do about that?
Yeah,
what can we do about that?
I think there'll be a lot more in the future. It's something that we've just started talking about. really just a year ago. We launched Upcycle Beauty last year with a company called Rheumatics. Saltese was their upcycled emulsifier and suspension agent and surfactant. So that one isn't directly related to color, but the industry really just started talking about upcycled last year. And the Upcycled Food Association now has their own certifying body to look at taking food waste and capturing that food waste to be able to help reduce climate change. So reducing carbon emissions and climate change. So that's the connection between upcycled sustainability and doing better for the planet, is capturing this food waste and giving it a life that has higher value. So there are some other companies that do have upcycled ingredients, and I think that this is going to be one of the biggest growing trends in the next 5 years. That we'll see more and more companies talking about this and realizing, hey, we do have upcycled ingredients within our supply chain, and then understanding how to come together with this harmonized message of reducing climate change. So I think there will be more, and I may be working with some ingredient suppliers to help get them on board, get them on the train, the upcycled train. So
That would be fantastic. That's what needs to happen.
yeah, it's been a fun journey for sure.
Yeah, well, thank you for bringing that movement forth, because it really is an intriguing concept, and I love to see that it's making its way into beauty, because and people can put their marketing dollars towards that, and looking into how they can actually support that. And then for consumers, if you start spending your money on that, you speak with your wallet, and so people start to put more innovation and research behind it if they see it to become a trend that consumers are purchasing. So
Yeah,
thank you for the forefront of that.
absolutely. And and it's like having companies like Kimberry to be able to really dive in and get the details is so important, because as Angela has so much expertise and knowledge and access to information, I have so much access to information as well, but we're only like one person, right? So having it organized and available, I think, is really key to help accelerate new product development, accelerate connecting with beauty founders and people who are curious to do something different. So real true innovators and product creators.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that should be a wrap. Great point to leave on. We have no questions, and so we will move on from that and let you all go forward with your day. So thank you everyone for coming. Thank you, Susanna, Angela, and of course Haley, for being here today. It was a great discussion, and we look forward to more.
Hey, thank you.
Yeah, thanks so much. Have a great day.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.